Picture this. Right now, as you're reading these words, invisible forces are working tirelessly to shield you from harm, guide your decisions, and illuminate your path forward. These aren't mystical beings from another realm. They're your own ancestors, and they've been orchestrating miracles in your life that you've probably attributed to luck or coincidence. What if I told you that every close call you've survived, every perfect timing that saved you from disaster, and every inexplicable moment of clarity you've experienced wasn't random at all? What if these were actually deliberate acts of protection from those who share your bloodline? Today, I'm going to blow your mind by revealing 5 undeniable signs that your ancestors are actively working behind the scenes to protect you. These signs are so common, yet so overlooked, that once you recognize them, you'll start seeing your entire life story through a completely different lens. Here's what makes this video different. I'm not going to give you vague spiritual platitudes. Instead, I'll share specific, recognizable patterns that you can identify in your own life starting today. But here's the catch. You absolutely must watch this entire video to understand the full picture. These signs build on each other, and skipping ahead will rob you of the complete understanding you need. If you're pressed for time, increase the playback speed rather than skipping sections. What I'm about to share has already helped thousands of people recognize the invisible support network that's been guiding their lives all along. Ready to discover who's really been watching over you? Sign 1. Vivid dreams that feel like sacred meetings. Let me start with something that might have happened to you just last night. Have you ever awakened from a dream so intensely real that you could almost smell the perfume of a woman you've never met, or feel the rough texture of an old man's weathered hands? These aren't your mind playing tricks on you. They're actual visitations. Your sleeping mind becomes a portal when your conscious barriers drop. While you're awake, your logical brain blocks these connections, but in sleep, your ancestors finally have direct access to communicate with you. But not every dream qualifies as ancestral contact. Random anxiety dreams about missing exams or falling don't count. True ancestral visits have unmistakable characteristics. You'll encounter elderly figures wearing clothing from bygone eras. Find yourself in historical settings that feel strangely like home, or attend family gatherings with faces you recognize in your soul but have never seen in photographs. The emotional residue these dreams leave behind is profound. You wake up feeling deeply peaceful, reassured, or carrying specific guidance that seems to come from someone who knows you better than you know yourself. Here's a mind-blowing example. So, one of our What Would Marcus Do community members kept dreaming about an elderly woman in a really distinctive blue dress who would silently point to a particular oak tree. Week after week, it was the same dream over and over. Then, 2 weeks later, during a family crisis, she found herself lost in an unfamiliar neighborhood when suddenly she spotted that exact tree. Trusting her instincts, she walked over and discovered a distant relative's house. Someone who provided exactly the help she desperately needed. Coincidence? Not when this pattern repeats across thousands of similar stories. To enhance your ability to receive these divine appointments, you should keep a dream journal within arm's reach of your bed. The moment you wake up, before checking your phone, before getting coffee, write down everything you remember. Dream memories. they vanish within moments of consciousness returning. Most importantly, when you experience what feels like an ancestral visit, acknowledge it out loud. Just say, "Thank you for visiting me." This simple act really does strengthen the spiritual connection and signals that you are open to receiving their guidance. Your ancestors are attempting to reach you through the one time when your mind is most receptive. Recognizing these dreams isn't just spiritually enriching. It's actually the first step in accessing a guidance system that's been trying to protect you all along. Sign 2. Supernatural calm in life's storms. Now, let's talk about those impossible moments when everything around you is crumbling, yet you feel wrapped in an inexplicable bubble of peace. Picture being in a car accident where your vehicle is destroyed, smoke is billowing, glass is everywhere, but instead of panic, you feel a warm embrace surrounding you. Instead of hysteria, crystal-clear thinking guides every decision you make. This isn't normal human psychology. This is ancestral intervention. When your ancestors step in during crisis moments, the experience has distinctive qualities that separate it from ordinary emotional regulation. The calm arrives instantly, like flipping a switch, rather than the gradual settling we experience naturally. Many people report physical sensations, warmth spreading across their shoulders like an invisible shawl, tingling at the base of their neck, or the unmistakable feeling of a gentle hand holding theirs when they're completely alone. These aren't metaphorical descriptions. They're actual sensory experiences of protection. This supernatural comfort typically manifests during life's most brutal challenges: job loss, relationship devastation, health scares, or dangerous situations requiring split-second decisions. It's as if your ancestors possess a radar for detecting when you need them most. To recognize these moments, pay attention to emotional shifts that defy logic. When you should be overwhelmed with anxiety, but instead feel strangely centered, pause and acknowledge what's happening. That's not just your resilience. That's generations of your family surrounding you, lending you their collective strength. Try this practice. The next time you feel this inexplicable peace during chaos, whisper, "I feel you with me, and I'm grateful." This acknowledgement creates a powerful feedback loop that strengthens the protection for future crises. What's truly miraculous is the perfect timing. Never too early, never too late, always precisely when you need it most. Your ancestors aren't just watching over you, they're actively intervening in your darkest moments to ensure you never face them alone. Sign 3. Meaningful coincidences that change everything. In our hyper-connected, busy world, we've been trained to dismiss the extraordinary as ordinary. But what if those random coincidences that pepper your life aren't random at all? What if they're actually a sophisticated communication system from those who came before you? Synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that can't be explained by chance, are your ancestors' way of orchestrating protection and guidance in real time. Here's how to distinguish between random coincidences and ancestral synchronicities. True synchronicities align perfectly with your current life situation, provide exactly what you need at that precise moment, or appear in patterns too consistent to be explained by probability. These divine appointments can take countless forms. Maybe you've been wrestling with a major decision when you stumble upon a letter from your deceased grandfather containing advice that speaks directly to your situation. Perhaps you're at a career crossroads when you randomly encounter a stranger whose words echo exactly what your late mother used to tell you. One of the most common forms is through numbers or symbols that hold personal significance. Do you keep seeing your grandmother's birthday everywhere? On license plates, receipts, clocks? These aren't coincidences. They're cosmic text messages letting you know you're being watched over. The timing and relevance are key indicators. Ancestral synchronicities tend to occur precisely when you need guidance most, right before major decisions or during periods of uncertainty. They also feel personally significant in ways that random events simply don't. Sign 4. Soul-deep recognition of places and traditions. Have you ever stepped foot in a location for the first time, yet felt an overwhelming sensation that you belonged there? Or found yourself inexplicably drawn to cultural traditions completely unconnected to your upbringing? These aren't random preferences, they're ancestral memories awakening within your DNA. Your body carries far more than genetic codes for physical traits. It holds emotional and spiritual memories spanning generations. When you feel magnetically connected to a specific place, your ancestral DNA is recognizing something significant, a homeland, a sacred site, or perhaps a location where pivotal moments in your family history unfolded. This fourth sign manifests as a spiritual GPS system, guiding you toward places, practices and traditions that will nourish your soul at the deepest level. Your ancestors are gently steering you toward what you need, even when you don't consciously understand why. Consider the phenomenon of feeling instantly at home in completely unfamiliar surroundings. Scientists label this déjà vu, but what's really happening is cellular-level recognition. Part of you has been there before through the lived experiences of those who came before you. Sign 5. Inherited wisdom and abilities you never learned. When was the last time you just knew something without any logical explanation for how you acquired that knowledge? Have you ever mastered a skill with unusual ease, as if you'd practiced it before? Or experienced moments of insight that seemed to download from somewhere beyond your personal experience? This fifth sign, intuitive knowledge and abilities you haven't learned, represents perhaps the most personal and powerful way your ancestors protect you from harm and guide you toward your highest potential. Within your DNA resides the accumulated experiences, skills and wisdom of countless generations. Modern science is finally catching up to what spiritual traditions have taught for millennia. Memory isn't confined to the brain, but exists in every cell of our bodies. These inherited abilities often manifest as natural talents, an innate understanding of music without lessons, an intuitive grasp of complex concepts, or an unexplainable skill with animals, plants, or healing. What's particularly remarkable is how these abilities tend to surface precisely during times of greatest need. Your next steps: strengthening the connection. Now that you recognize all 5 signs, dream visitations, supernatural comfort during crisis, meaningful coincidences, soul-deep attractions, and inherited abilities, you face an important choice. Will you strengthen this connection or continue ignoring it? Ignoring these messages is like having a direct line to infinite wisdom and protection, but leaving the phone off the hook. Here's how to deepen your ancestral connection starting today. Create a simple ancestor space in your home. Place a photo, an heirloom, or even a glass of fresh water on a small shelf as a physical reminder of their presence. This isn't about religion. It's about acknowledgement and respect. Speak to your ancestors daily, not as distant memories, but as active participants in your life journey. Share your challenges, ask for guidance, and express gratitude for their protection. The more you acknowledge this connection, the stronger your protection becomes.